that the why has to come first. And that we have great training information at our fingertips in the Pampered Chef, not only from the home office, but from each other. And so the training, and right, believe, passion, skill, and will, right? The skill, the ability to get the skill is there. I don't doubt it for a second. It's there, and if you want to learn new things about technology, new things about doing Facebook shows, new ways to recruit, new ways to do shows, the information is there if you have the will to go after it, right? But that belief, that why, that very first thing that she talked about, I think is so very, very important. And we all have to find that why. Because if we don't have that, nothing, it just doesn't come together. So good for you. And you actually remind me of me back in the day. So pretty exciting stuff.
That's common.
Yeah, and Yvonne, I think everybody, some of what she said was new to me. A lot of it was familiar because I know how they put together the virtual party packs, and I know that they're recommending 5-day shows now. I knew a lot of the things that she was talking about. But I think if you haven't done that virtual training once or twice, you might have gotten a little lost in there, right? I mean, I could look around the room and I could see it happening. And especially when she talked about the team page and what she's doing with her business page, and what she's doing with her business page, and how she brings all the events in together. My head started spinning. I was like, what? What is she talking about? I was totally lost. Then she said it again, all of a sudden it started clicking for me. It will click for you too. So if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by some of that right now, right? Don't worry, but just go to the source. She just said to you, go watch my business page. And if you need help, go to people who can help you do it. You gotta have the will to be able to do that. But Yvonne, you said one key thing that I don't want anybody to miss. There was one little line at the very beginning, and I went, oh man, she has got it right there.
Judy taught me everything I know.
Yeah. See, you know what she said at the very beginning? She said she requires her host to have a phone call with her prior to the start of the show, or she won't even put her in. That is expectation or, wait, where's
commitment.
Leslie? Or setting the intention. Is expectation or setting the intention. And that one little line she said that most of you it went right over your head. I'll bring it back to you guys. It's good host coaching. And that was awesome. What's your show average virtually? Somebody asked me.
You know what? I just looked at it. I want to say it's like 650.
650? Yes! You know what? That's double what it is as a company. That's amazing. 52. Yeah. And it has one of the highest qualification rates in the company, by the way. Yeah. She's also got the qualification to go along with it. Oh, we probably should turn this on again, eh? Where's that little button?
You guys excited about
this one.
Yes!
Yeah, great training. Oh my gosh. Today has been amazing. I don't know. I mean, I want to tell you, I sat back there going, oh my gosh, I want to do business again. I'm like, get back in the field. Yeah. Who's going to recruit me? I was waiting for the first person, the smart girl. Who's going to take me? Okay. I think Judy would have like 3 heart attacks. She says to me all the time, you're not going anywhere, are you?
Oh my God, you just keep moving, Judy.
I'm sorry, I should make you just for you, my Patty.
It's okay. It's okay, because people are going to go, where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Okay, we're looking for Emerald City, and the great training has been amazing. We started off with the very first culture we want to create, which is first culture, teamwork and monthly activity. The second culture we went into was fast-paced recruiting growth, and now we're going to go into career plan advancement. But before we do, we've gone through down a long yellow brick road together, right? So before we do, I thought it'd be just fun to remind ourselves of this. Come on, sing!
If ever a wish there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because because of the wonderful things he does. The wonderful things he
So we've got
Good.
we've got Dorothy, who is the leader of the pack. She's the leader of the team. We have the Scarecrow, who had to find the brain to understand the importance of teamwork in monthly activity. We have the Tin Man, whoops, they're not there anymore, but we have the Tin Man, who had to find the heart for fast-paced recruiting growth, to share the love, to do the things that needed to be done to grow the team. And now we're going to go to the Cowardly Lion, who had to muster the courage to know or all of you need to muster the courage to know that you have what it takes to develop leaders in your organization. Okay? Career plan advancement. How do you create a picture and vision for your team so clear, right, that others can see themselves moving up in the career plan? So I want to talk about this word choice, career plan advancement. Because those of you who are in the first executive bound programs, prior to Lead Plus, and the very first Lead Plus, you remember we called this something different, right? We call this director development. The third culture was a culture of director development, promoting directors in your organization. And about a year into it, I realized that we made a big mistake in the word choices of that, right? A big, big, big mistake. Because although we had people understanding the importance of promoting directors, we were running director-bound programs, and directors were fast-tracking, directors were established, consultants were promoting to director. We had higher levels of director promotion. What we realized was that people were so hung up on promoting directors, that's all they were focused on. And the difference between promoting directors and career plan advancement is simply this. Not only do I want to promote directors in my organization, but I want to help the directors I already have become intentional about moving up in the career plan. Rather than, I just moved up in the career plan because my leader ran a director-bound program and I promoted a director. Okay? It's not an accident anymore. It's absolutely intentional. It's about Eileen O'Haron saying, I'm going to become an executive leader. And she's become intentional. It's not like anymore, well, if it happens, it happens, right? And we want that at every level. We want every director to understand that moving up in the Pampered Chef career plan is going to bring them more and bring others more at the same time. Okay? So I want to paint a picture for every single one of you in this room. And I want you to, as I do this, I want you to put on two hats, right? The first hat is your director hat, okay? And like, what is this going to mean for me, personally? And then I want you to put on the hat, and how am I going to take this and bring it to my team? Because right now, you're all sitting in this room, and you're getting all these great ideas, and you're filling yourself. But leaders have to transfer information. It's not only about taking it in to learning more, it's the ability to transfer the information so others go out and do it too. So as you watch this, I want you to say, how can I duplicate what I see Judy doing from the front so that I can paint this picture for my team this way? Okay? So if is something wrong? Oh, she's not recording anymore.
No,
Wait a minute.
No?
This thing right here.
What's the matter? What is that? Oh.
Thank you.
What up?
I love somebody who knows what they're doing. Don't you? I just love it.
Well, me and Marta just...
Now, will you take care of me at Lead Plus seminar next week? Anthony's going to be at the Lead Plus seminar next week. And he's going to take care of me. He's going to do, there's no business lecture. I already asked him, he's going to open with it.
There you go.
Thanks, Marie and Patty.
So if you've seen it already, you're going to see it again. Too bad.
No,
But that's what's going to happen. Okay. Anyway, where was I going? Oh, I'm going to go into role. All right. So if you're a director in this room, if you currently hold the director title, I want you to stand up. Directors, stand up.
Are we all directors?
Huh?
I mean, not up.
Well, if you're not at the upper level director position. Okay, okay. So you are all hold the director title. Right now, I'm going to go into a role. I really wanted you to stretch a little bit. Right now, I'm going to go into a role, and I want every single one of you to know that I am talking to each and every single one of you, okay? You guys can sit down. Upper level directors, stand up. This is your chance to stretch. Marna, I have to tell you, I love that necklace around your neck.
Thank you.
Like, it's so, like, flashy and cool and...
The old man bought it for me, 72.
Just love it. Okay, upper level directors, I want you to not only watch this for you, but it's really going to be aimed at the director level. I want you to think about how can I transfer this and do this myself later. Okay, stretch a little bit, wiggle out your little bones, right? Everybody do the little wiggles. Okay, now you can sit down. Okay. And then I need, you're welcome. And then I need one director and their upper level leader. Or does there a director, a current director in the room? Wait, no, I wouldn't do that. Wait, let me think. I'm mixing up different types of meetings and different people. Let me just go into it and we'll see how it goes. Okay. I'm trying to make it too hard. See, we all mess up every now and then. We're all directors in this room. Sometimes I do this in their consultants in the room so I can use it. So I need some make pretends. So, okay, I'll figure it out. All right, so I want you to imagine right now that you're a director in the pamper shop, okay? And you're running right now about a $10,000 team, right? You're doing about 10K every single month. You have 10, 12 consultants or so in your organization. Write it down so you don't forget, right? You're running about a 10K team. 10 to 12 consultants in your organization. You're going along, you're getting paid at your title every single month. It's all good. 10K team. I'm making a $300 override every single month on that 10K team, plus whatever I'm selling and my activity bonuses, all that up. But my 3% of that 10K team is how much? $300. Right? And this month, as a director, I decide I am going to embrace the Director Bound program. I'm going to read it again from cover to cover. I'm going to study it. I'm going to put it into effect. I'm going to listen to the training online that was done, the audio training, which is the last piece, by the way, in the Director Assets on Consultants Corner. I'm even going to listen to that again so that I can hear the training on this, because there's some great training on that that audio Director Asset piece on Consultants Corner. And I'm going to go with this Director program as it is written. Okay, I'm going to just go with it. Okay, so you do the very first piece. You decide you're going to do a Get the More You're Looking For meeting. Okay? You're going to do a Get the More You're Looking For meeting. And you're not going to mass market it, because that's the easy way, right? Because we have a path now. We decide we're going to do the Get the More You're Looking For. There's a path at every road. Right? The first path was, am I really going to reread the Director Bound materials?
Right.
Right? You had to make the right choice as a leader. A leader always takes the path that's going to lead to the best results, even if it's not the easiest path to follow. It's certainly not the easiest path to follow, to print that all out again, to listen to the recordings, to take the time to do it, but it is the wise path to take. Then you're going to come to the next path, because the Get the More You're Looking For meeting is the next piece in the puzzle. It's one of the ways I'm going to market directorship. I could take one path or another. The easy path for me would be to just put an email out there to my entire team and say, Get the More You're Looking For. If you're interested in directorship, come on down. Come to this Zoom meeting, come to my house, come to whatever you're going to do. Or the harder path, which is the one we recommend, is you cherry pick. Who said that earlier today? Right? You literally look at your team and you decide who are you going to invite for the right reasons. And you make this an honor to be invited to this Get the More You're Looking For. And I promise you, if you do this 3 or 4 times a year, and it becomes an honor to be invited to this, people are going to be begging to be invited to this eventually. Back in the day, we didn't have virtual rights, so I did it in my home. I used to do a Saturday morning champagne brunch. Come to see Steve and Judy. Champagne brunch. My husband did all the serving. Like, he literally waited on them hand and foot. He was amazing. And I did the talking, right? He was smart enough to know to let me do what I did, and I was smart enough to let him know to schmooze him to ever, because everybody loves my husband. Right? The girls love my husband. There's no doubt about it. He can schmooze with anybody. All right. So that's the better path, is to personally invite. You personally invite. 10 people come to your Zoom meeting. You do this amazing, get them where you're looking for, and guess what? You do it the way it's written. You do it what we put out there, right? With everything from really making it more personal, finding their why, showing them how we're going to support them, beginning to set those expectations or intentions, right? In the very beginning during that meeting. And you come out of it. You just did an amazing get them where you're looking for meeting, Blair. It was like fabulous. And you are so blessed because you have Dajan on your team who was at that get them where you're looking for meeting. And you have Ida. I didn't know Ina or Ida. I have an Ina in the place right now, that's why. And she was at the get them where you're looking for meeting. And so, was Yvonne. You want me not to do this? Please tell me. Okay. So was Yvonne. Oh my God, what a team I just created for you, eh?
Can we switch this around? So I like it.
And of the 10, right, these, a lot of them really said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. But these 3 really committed. And they decided, I'm going to go for this, right? Sometimes they don't all. You can have 10 people there, they don't all commit. But let's just say these 3 people committed, right? And you start your director-bound program. And they are charged and excited and jazzed, and you're doing the training as it's set up, and you're coaching them, you're talking to them after every single show they do, you're doing the show-based coaching, you're doing what we asked you to do, right? Yvonne goes out where?
No.
You're at 10,000. You're at 10,000.
I have to talk to you.
You're a $10,000 team today, right? These are 3 people on your $10,000 team. Yvonne is so excited. She goes out. She brings in her first person. She
leaving me.
I would never leave you.
I'm sorry.
You didn't say blah, blah. It's like, why don't you want her to promote? This is not what I want you to say. No. She goes out and she starts recruiting. She brings in her first person, her second person. Agent goes, Yvonne's not going to be me. There's no way. I'm gonna start recruiting too. And she's doing the same thing, right? They're all starting to build their team. So what's happening to Blair's team as a whole? But I do have a question for you. What should Blair be doing as this team?
Recruiting to replace.
Why? Why should she be recruiting too? She needs to continue to lead by example. She needs to match the efforts of everybody on her team. Because in a couple of months, Yvonne is going to blow it out of the water. And she's going to have 5 people on her team. She didn't even take the whole 90 days. She took 60. She blew it out of the water. And she is ready now to promote to director. Right? When Yvonne steps aside and steps side by side with her, she's no longer part of the team, but now they kind of step side by side, and they're peers, and, part of the same organization. Blair no longer gets to count Yvonne's team as part of the base, right? She still gets paid on the volume of the team, but it's not part of her personal team anymore. And the goal is, as you're promoting, to keep that base strong, stable. You need to keep the 10K base. And the only way you're going to do it if you promote a director, there's only 2 ways. You sell more, or you get more people selling more. And I'm going to tell you guys, the smart way is to get more people selling more. So you kept your base strong. So your base is still 10K. Over here, Yvonne's base is now 5K. It still includes these 2. They're almost there, but they're not quite there yet to promote. Right? They're almost there. You're 10K still. You're part of it. The whole team is selling 10K. Yvonne's team had to sell how much?
5.
At least 5, right? So the $10,000 team now becomes a $15,000 organization. And you don't make 3% anymore.
4.
How much was she making at 3% of 10,000?
300.
How much is now the override going to be at 4% of 15,000?
600.
600. It's double. It's double. That is really awesome. You get it, right? Okay. And then imagine what happens when Dajan and Ida pop. And now that 10, and she's still keeping it, she's still recruiting. She knows, I want to keep that 10K team, I want to keep that 10K team, even build my own personal team. And now she's got a 10, a 5, a 5, and a 5. And then Dejan says, Blair painted a picture so strong for me, I'm going to go promote my own director. And hell yeah. And now this team, she said it, not me. Yeah. And I'm thinking about who said it before I got it. I had Marna. Like, what's my group? Do I have to look across here? Or can I be myself? Okay. I'm a hell yeah kind of girl, too, quite honestly. She says, you know what? Blair painted a picture so clear for me. Can she explain this, how this works, and how income growth multiplies faster than numbers multiply, right? You get to double your percentage, but you didn't double your team. Do you get that? You didn't double the team, you doubled the percentage of what you earned because you created it to happen. And Pimpercep, by the way, gave you a bonus along the way. Deja decides, I'm going to go out and do the same thing. So now she's got a 10K team, a 5K team, a 5K team, and another 10K team. 10, 20, 30, 35,000 times 4. It just doubled again.
Crap.
Do the math. Guys, it's all about the math. Guys, go and do this. It makes you happy. Give it up for these guys. Give it up for our Do you see it? Okay, and what I just did for you, do you all see it? I just painted a picture and vision so clear you could see yourself in it. I know Deja did. She was like, I could see her eyes get bigger in the circles, right? Are you doing that for your teams?
Jude, my first month as an advanced director, $800 more.
$800 more first month.
First month as an advanced director.
But guys, people, the average consultant, women especially, do not get percentages. They look at 3 to 4% and they think it's nothing. It's huge when you put all the, it's like what my dad said, a little bit of a lot is a lot. And you just can't forget that. We saw it yesterday when Nancy Jo showed the income calculator. And she went from doing, I can't remember what the jump was. And the income difference was like, oh my gosh. I think you added 2 orders. What did you add?
2 orders
2 shows.
and 2 orders. Oh,
You added 2 shows and 6 orders.
1 3/4 show and 6 orders each show. And it went from 1,100 to plus 1,700
Yeah.
to 2,800.
So it went 2.5 times as much money.
Yeah.
But did you increase the business by 2.5 times? No. But that's what happens overall. It's amazing what can happen, but you have to paint that picture. And so, yes, do I want the directors in the room to decide I want to move to upper level? Yeah, I absolutely do. I painted that picture for the directors because I want you leaving here saying I'm going to upper level as fast as you can, right? We want more upper level leaders in our company. There's no doubt about it. But I also painted that picture so you understand how you can paint that picture. You know, I can't, Kathy Cocazella can't, Julie Aldridge, Stacia Smiley, we can't show up in your cities every 3 months to do this for you.
Sure you can.
Planes are for, Julie. That's what planes are for.
Sounds good.
I've already got over, I'm like, I think my way home I'm going to hit 25K already this year. Yeah, that's a lot of miles. For those of you who fly, you get that. That's a lot of miles in 3 months. 2 months. It's not even 3 months.
Oh, right.
It's 2
Holy
It did
crap.
help. My husband took me to Hawaii for my birthday. Yeah. He surprised me. He surprised me. He took me to Hawaii for a week. Wasn't that amazing? Yeah. He's a good guy. I'm going to keep him another 38 years. The question is, will he keep me another 38 years? Okay, so I want you to go out there and paint that picture for your teams. And understand that one of the ways you create culture for career plan advancement is you have to market directorship. You have to use the tools that we put in front of you, and you have to market the Get the More You're Looking For meeting. You have to market Fast Track to Director program. You have to market it using an organizational vision board, and you have to recognize the career plan promotions along the way. Just like in creating a culture for teamwork and activity, there are steps you have to take. For fast-paced recruiting growth, there are steps you have to take. There are steps you have to take in this. And the steps are laid out for you. Okay? So let's talk about that organizational vision board. Right? A lot of you heard us talk about this. How many of you have ever presented an organizational vision board? Yes. okay? I can remember standing in a room like this and saying, how many represent an organizational vision board? And 10 hands went up. And now look. The question is, are you continuing to present your organizational vision board? Are you good about updating your organizational vision board? Are you good about keeping it in front of them? I want to share with you what can happen when you do this and do this well. The script is in front of you in the Director Bound program. Use it. Don't recreate the wheel. It works. If you have to read it for the first few times. So, about I don't know, the Lead Plus graduate team. I reached out to, right when she was promoting to National Executive Director, everybody knows Stacey Itzel, right? How could you not? So Stacey Itzel was promoting to National Executive Director, and I wanted to see her organizational vision board because I had some National Executive Directors reaching out to me saying, hey, I want to do this, but my team is so big, how do I make this work? How do I get national executive structure when I have like 5 million directors like Nancy Jo Ryan onto a board? And sometimes you just can't, right? Nancy Jo can't. There's no possible way for her to do it. But I wanted to show them how it could be done. So I went to Stacey Itzel and I said, hey Stace, I texted her, hey Stacey, can you send me your vision board, your National Executive Director vision board? Because I knew she had one. And I didn't hear back from her, I didn't hear back from her. And I was like, I wonder if I just have it. I wonder if she sent it to me along the way. So I went into my files and I saw Itzel vision board and that's what came up. And I went, OMG. And I sent it to her, I said, do you remember this? And she was like, where did you get that? I said, I took a picture of that when I was at her house. I remember when I first met Stacey, I first came into Pampered Chef, and I remember sitting with her at an event. It was like an event the Pampered Chef had brought in people, and we were in a hotel in Oak Brook. We were sitting in a bar, and I didn't know Stacey Itzel. She had reached out to me. She said, do you have time? I just want to talk. And what she wanted to talk to me about was that, you know, Stacey is an overachiever, to say the least, right? Mm-hmm. She's one of those people going to go, go, go. And she was very happy being an advanced director, and we kept sending this message that we're looking for new executive directors, and she felt like she wasn't like stretching for that and didn't really want it. And she said to me, Judy, I just want you to know I'm just really happy where I am. And I don't want you to think any less of me. I don't want the Home Office to think any less of me because I don't want to grow. This is where I am right now. That was the very first meeting I ever had with her. A year or so later, she adopted her baby girl, and things changed. And I thought they were going to change in a different way. But what she said to me is, I want to be an executive leader. And because she wanted to change, she wanted more income coming in, but she wanted a team to help her do all the things she knew needed to be done. She knew she couldn't do it alone, but if she had a team around her and they could truly work as a team, then amazing things could happen. So this was the first step. She created the first vision board she ever did. This was January 2013. At the time, she had 3 directors in her first generation. A very strong advanced team, right? And that's where she wanted to keep it, and one about to promote. That's what, that's what it looked like, okay? And she went from that in 6 months to having an executive team structure. She presented the board exactly the way we trained it. She presented it her team, she got them excited about it, and in 6 months, with focus and a new baby, created that to happen in just 6 months. Today, this is what it looks like. 5 years later, her baby just celebrated her fifth birthday. Right, Jalen just celebrated her 5th birthday, and this is what it looks like today. Now, along the way, between this and this, how many times do you think she had to redo that vision board?
Once a year.
But she never missed. And she continued to present it, and she continued to put it in front of them. It was at every single meeting, and she posted it and showed pictures of it. And people wanted spots in that organization to create that to happen. Just amazing. Amazing, amazing stuff. Okay, and that's 5 years of building without taking your eye off the goal, with continuing to grow, right? Were there roadblocks along the way?
Yes.
If you know Stacy, you know they were. Actually, if you know Stacy, you know that she almost lost that executive title in her first 6 months. And here's why. She went into what she calls, in term, save and protect, instead of grow and build. She went into save and protect. Save and protect every director I've ever promoted. I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to just keep working with the ones I have. And because she went into save and protect, and she didn't continue to do the things she had done to create the growth stopped. And literally, literally in tears, with 2 months left, thinking how embarrassed she's going to be if she loses this, right? Because that's who Stacy is. She had to make a decision. And now, Stacy Itzel is one of the people I send any new executive to. And she gives them the grow and build, don't go into save and protect. Because as long as you're giving everyone in your organization the same training, the same things are available to them, you're giving them all the same team meeting, you're giving them everything, at some point, every director has to take on that personal accountability, find the will to be personally accountable, and do what needs to be done. Okay? And in a room full of directors, I have to say, we can't save them all. We just can't. We can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. We lay it out there, it's up to you to take it. And as an upper level leader, growing your business and deciding that you want to create an organizational vision board and set a goal to move to the next level of the career plan yourself and help others in your organization to do the same, you need to know that they're not all going to stay. And it's okay. Just like every consultant doesn't stay, at every level it doesn't change. Every executive we promote doesn't stay. Every senior executive director we promote doesn't stay, and every national we promote does not stay. Yes.
So let's say the overall goal
Mm-hmm.
is executive.
Yep.
Do you present the vision board for the executive?
Yeah.
Or do you present it for like senior?
It's a great question. So the question Deji is asking is, what if I'm an advanced leader today, or even a director, and my overall goal is executive? How do I present? You present first things first. Okay? When she presented this vision board, she talked about senior and how we were almost there, but set the structure up for them to see what an executive team would look like. Okay? And here's the deal, guys. Every single level in this room can do this. If you're a director today, you can create an organizational vision board where it says the name of your team, right? And she's changed that. It used to be Team Itzel, now it's Superstars. She took her name out of it, right? But take your team's name out of your team name, if you can, all right? If there's any way you can do it. So she was almost already a senior. But when she presented this first time, she said, this is going to happen, and it's going to happen this month. Because this gal is still a leader of the organization, too. Who is this? I can't see it, but I remember the last time I saw the name, I remember thinking, oh, she's still a director, she's still got her. I'm trying to see who it is. It doesn't matter. But she says she's still on her team. So if you're a director level, you can create your own, right? And it can say, somebody's superstars, or whatever you want to call it, right? And then, so you're at the top of your own vision board, right? It's your organization. And then maybe you have just 3 stars. Because who are the first 3 leaders who are going to join our team? And maybe that's how you get to advance, by just promoting the first one. But you want a strong advanced team, and you want to open it up to more people. So who sees themselves as part of this structure? And then once you hit advanced, now you present senior. Once you hit senior, now you present executive, right? You want to do first, I'm a big believer in first things first. It sounds easy. It's not easy. I'm going to tell you, it's not easy. You go from 1 director to 4, you just 4 times the size of your team, and then you go from 4 to 8 and doubled it again. So when you want to think about that, it's a lot, right? Upper level leadership is not for the faint of heart. I'm going to tell you, executive leadership is definitely not for the faint of heart. I'm not going to kid you. I'm not going to tell you this is easy peasy. It's not. It takes focus. It takes determination. It takes creating great habits and doing the same things over and over again and believing in yourself that you're doing the right things along the way. Believing in the company that we're sending you down the path that you need to go down to make it happen. So that's something that you want to think about. So I challenge every one of you to create your own organizational vision board and to share it with your team with the word choices that are there. And don't recreate the wheel, right? I have had directors have to redo their vision board because they said, what do you think of this? And they have like all their consultants there. Well, I didn't want to leave everybody out because you said it's a team. Yeah, that's not what a vision board is for though. An organizational vision board is about becoming a director. The only way they get their face on your board is to become a director. And oh, by the way, if they lose title, guess what happens?
They get off.
Yes, that's accountability, right? That's the hardest thing, I think, in this. The hardest thing. I actually had my husband do it because I couldn't. My vision board was, see that wall right there? Like, cut it off at the middle of that window up top. That was my vision wall at my office. That was half of it, and then the other half is on this side. So this wall, when you came into my room, you came into the back, and this was the first thing you saw when you came into my meeting room. And back in the day, we had pictures of all of our directors, framed. Our company made frames, so little 8 by 10 frames, and literally had it set up in the organization who promoted who. You could literally walk in and see every leader. At the end of every month, if anybody lost title, my husband would go in on a Sunday. And when Monday came, yep, tough, right? It's tough. That's why he did it and I didn't, because that was really, really, really hard for me, because I cared about every single one of them. I really, truly did. But if they could be on there and not be a director, what was the point? Right? It was how we held them accountable and how they had to hold themselves accountable. All right.
Judy.
The director bound program. I'm going to go through this real quick. Yes, Carolyn.
So you don't put team leaders on there?
No. Here's what I have seen though. I've seen people, so you know the houses, it's like the big one we see all the time. I have seen people take hands and put these hands at the very, very bottom. And so if they want a place on there, so the way it's written in the director bound materials is you use post-it notes, right? So you might find star post-it notes or heart post-it notes, and they put their name and they say, I want this house, I want this star, right? And so they have a spot to hold it until they do it. It's post-it notes so you can take them on and off, right? So if they're not doing what they say they can do, you can remove them. But the hands is really cute, and I've seen that done, where they take the hands, and so if you declare that you want to be a team leader, instead of going on the star of the house, the hand goes on the bottom, and your name is on the palm, and then every recruit, the 5 recruits, are a finger. And I think that's really adorable, because it's not like they have a place in your organization yet, but you're still able to recognize them for moving towards it. So that's kind of a cute thing to do. But don't and make sure you set it up generation 1, generation 2, generation 3, because people don't understand comp plans. And if you got it like every which way and nobody can understand what they're looking at, they just think it's a mishmash. And people have to understand the career plan and how it works, or else they can't maximize it, right? Paper check is going to put money on the table. Your job is to know where it is and don't get it. As leaders, we have to make sure people know where it is. Director bound program. I already talked about this. This is where you get the materials. Consultant's Corner, Training and Resources, Director Bound Program. When you open that up, on the right-hand side, there's assets, right? The top assets are for the players, it's your team that's in it. The bottom assets are director only. So these are for everybody, and you can share them. The ones on the bottom are for you to train and teach it. Make sure you're scrolling and getting everything that's available to you. The very last asset is the audio recording. And I have to tell you, this is homework for Lead Plus. The biggest response I got to it, the biggest comment on Facebook was, love the recording, love the recording, love the recording. Don't miss the recording. Even if you listened to it a couple years back, go back and listen to it again. This is what it looks like, just so you know where it was. Well, there it is. Think director about. It's called different now. We renamed it, but basically, this is what it looks like. But now it scrolls in one line instead of two. Everything's at your fingertips. Okay. And in closing, closing up my segment today, my 3 segments today. It's the last time you're going to hear from me. How many are excited about that? In closing these 3 segments today, I just want to remind you that, we put a lot in front of you. And I want you to think about all these things that you've got as pieces to the puzzle, right? There are these big pieces to the puzzle that have to fall in place. There's everything from, one of the pieces of the puzzle is being personally accountable. Another piece of the puzzle is being intentional about creating culture. Another piece of the puzzle is creating it for teamwork and activity. Another piece of the puzzle is creating it for fast-paced recruiting growth. Another piece of the puzzle is for career plan advancement. And I want you to really think of it that way. There's a lot of different pieces that can go into this puzzle. And I want you to think of it as a puzzle. And that you have to put all the pieces together. And many times you have to put them together in the right order. Right? Sometimes you can't make the middle of the puzzle until you have this piece of the puzzle created, right? So these 3 cultures have to be created in order. You can't leave here deciding, that's what I need to do, that career plan advancement. Because I promise you, if you don't have teamwork and activity in place, if you don't have fast-paced recruiting growth culture, you can do anything you want about career plan advancement, isn't going to need a hill of beans, because nothing will happen. One piece at a time. You can put the puzzle together all at the same time if you want, but the first thing you have to do is understand your role as the leader and that you have to be personally accountable. The second piece that you have to do is understand that you are in charge of creating the culture. And the first culture you have to work on is teamwork and monthly activity. You can work on it simultaneously with fast-paced recruiting and simultaneously with career plan advancement, but you can't skip this piece and just move to the other one. I didn't mean to do that. You can't skip this piece and move to this one. How about that? Is that a little bit? Was that on the recording? Of course. Oy vey. I'm gonna miss something. Okay. So think of it as pieces of the puzzle. And at the end of the day, being a successful person, being accountable to you and an inspirational leader requires that you take action. You've got to find the will to do what it takes. And a lot of you have heard this training before. A lot of you have been in trainings with me or Kathy or Julie or Jean or whoever before. A lot of you have invested a lot of money in going to retreats and national conference and Lead Plus seminars and everything else, right? And some of the things you put in place and some of the things you haven't. What holds people back? The number one thing that holds people back is fear, right? Number one thing, I'm afraid to do it. What'll happen if I fail? What'll happen if I succeed? Sometimes there's a fear of success is as strong as the fear of failure. Sometimes it's entitlement. I shouldn't have to do this. I've been with this company 15, 12, 20, 25, 31 years, right? I shouldn't have to do this. And sometimes it's just perfectionism. You're waiting for everything to be perfect because you need to get it right. Guess what? It's never perfect, ever. Do you know how many upper-level leaders say to me when I work with them and they're moving towards executive, Judy, I want everything to be perfect on my team before I promote. I want a strong team before I promote. Do you know what I say to them? I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're promoting to director, advanced director, senior director, executive director. The nature of the promotion means your team isn't strong because you did it at the minimums. Everybody does it at the minimum levels. Nobody does it above minimums because it's an automatic. When you hit it, it goes. And so when you promote, it's not perfect. It's what you do after you promote. Promoting doesn't mean you arrived. It means you started on a new journey. Promoting doesn't mean you've arrived. It means you've started on a new journey. Teach your directors that. Your new ones that you're promoting. They think they've arrived. And at the end of the day, action is the cure for fear, it's the cure for entitlement, it's the cure for perfectionism. You have to take action in order to become the leader that you know you can be and that we know you can be. To move from director to leader to inspirational leader, you have to take action. And you have to create these cultures, teamwork and activity, fast-paced recruiting growth, career plan advancement. And I want to leave you with one last thing. It's actually the closing to the movie, right? It's the closing. That each and every one of you have the power within you to make this happen. Whoops, 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 wait, I'll get it. What's happening here?
Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's because he took this out.
No.
No?
No.
That's not it? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Wait. Like, I went crazy. I went crazy. Hang on a minute. Oh, man, I had this great close and I blew it.
It's okay, it's coming.
Why isn't it playing? There we go.
Boop. Oh. I want to be Glinda.
You can be Glinda. You are Glinda.
Gee, what?
Oh, will you help me? Can you help me? You don't need to be helped any longer. You've always had the power to go back to Kansas. I have.
Then why didn't you tell her before?
Because she wouldn't have believed me. She had to learn it for herself.
What have you learned, Dorothy?
Well, I think that it wasn't enough just to want to see Uncle Henry and Auntie Em. And it's that if I ever go looking for my heart's desire again, I won't look any further than my own backyard. Because if it isn't there, I never really lost it to begin with. Is that right? That's all it is.
But that's so easy. I should have thought of it for you. I should have felt it in my heart.
No, she had to find it out for herself. Now those magic slippers will take you home in 2 seconds.
Yep. You have the power. It's always been within you. And you just have to find it out for yourself. And the only way you're going to find it out for yourself is to take action and put everything you've learned here today and will continue to learn today and tomorrow into action. So thank you all.